What's going on? Move the Mouse here, back in City Skylines with a long overdue update for the city of Greenwood. It's been a while. And of course I did some stuff offline. I know people, and I want to kind of tackle this right out of the gate. Some people get really upset when I do this stuff. All of this is getting torn down. So let me tell you that much first. We can expand, I don't know, room for 3,000 more people, and we get to our last milestone. But sometimes I just want to play the game. I know those of you that have been here for a while know where I'm coming from with this. I got burned out in this game and just the YouTube process altogether a while back. And some people like just want to see every bit of every single city. And I understand that on one hand, but also hopefully from the channel, from all the previous Let's Plays, from the tutorials, from other great creators out there on YouTube, you're learning the process and you shouldn't be copying step by step. Right? You should get some ideas, some inspiration. But you won't find every step of every city here because it would be boring for you, for me. It'd be excruciating. So I know some people want to see that, but I'm pretty sure you're in the minority, unless the comments explode and tell me otherwise. But even then, ain't nobody got time for that. So what we do have time for, though, is let's move a couple more people in. Basically, what I've been doing, for the most part, I'm ignoring a lot of the problems. And we're really focusing the majority of our build on this main island. At some point, I will finish and fix this casino and all the problems over here and get rid of the power plant. I think this is going to be an airport. I don't know what over here. I mean, we've got room to expand, and in fact, we've got to talk tiles. We've got to talk all sorts of stuff. What we should do, though, is collapse this first of all and replace it. Just so that we get room for all the bodies, bulldoze, and drop in a new one. That was collapse, by the way. If you don't have natural disasters DLC, good luck. Use crematories. That way they don't pile up. The bodies, that is. So, yeah, we've got to get a little bit more room for residential in here. They're complaining. I basically built this. I guess let me show you. I built a little intersection off the highway here. We'll do 3 times speed. And that runs all the way, very sloppily, under this river. There's a little system here. Right? And it's very basic. It's a very basic grid, but as we've needed, we've stood up residential, commercial, and industrial, or office space specifically. We're really running out of room over here, though. Can we cram some more people in over this way? Maybe over by the highway? Maybe that's enough? Oh, we haven't zoned any of this in. Perfect. Hopefully we can get another 2,300 people in there. That'd be cool. Do we have a couple spots where we can move some people? Where's not zoned? Any place over here not zoned? I mean, I guess we could move people. This is all going to get bulldozed, so it doesn't really matter that they're on a really noisy street or this incredibly busy intersection. We just want to make sure that we have enough space for everybody. And then if we come over this way, we could do another block or two to get the commercial and industrial demand sorted. But basically that's what I've been doing, is slowly building this up in the background so that we can get to that last milestone, so that we can tear it all out. But we can think about some of the monuments and stuff. Like I definitely want to do, always want to do the Eden project. So whatever that last milestone is for your city, that's where you unlock the monuments. Can we look at those monuments? We can't even look at them yet. The Eden project reduces all pollution and increases land value. Makes it easier to tax things. We're not doing terrible on the main island, actually, because there's no pollution, lots of residential. There is some noise pollution on some of the busier streets. That doesn't seem that busy to me. Maybe it is. But we're doing pretty good. We're doing pretty good overall. 3 times speed. 1,500 to go. We can get there. Do we zone way too much of commercial over here? Should we do some more industrial? And i.e. that is office. Let's do that. See where things go, and then whatever that last little pocket, if we still have commercial demand. We can fill that in. That should, I think that'll get us there though. So we're gonna blow this away, and here's where we can start talking futures here. So for those of you that aren't rage quitting the series because I didn't show all the steps, let's talk. We've got one tile we can buy now and one tile we can buy as soon as we hit 60,000. Do we build the 3x3 square? We could, but this square doesn't have a lot of buildable space, right? Up on the mountain there, a little bit. I guess there's a little bit here that we could leverage. That wouldn't be terrible, right? But do we need it? I don't know. Same thing over here. Like, I think this would be more productive because this, let's call it northeast tile, right? I probably won't touch this highway. I like this highway. Whoever built the main map, like, there's no really awkward bridges or things that I need to fix just outside. I mean, it's a little lumpy, but we can live with it. We've got lots of space to build over here on these tiles already. So do we get this one? Maybe. This might be kind of fun, but it doesn't have the most buildable space. Right, what does it have? Does it tell us 55% for building? This is 33% for building. You know, these tiles up here, I don't think they do us any good. Down this way, maybe we could talk, right, about some of these. This one's also cool. But this one could be kind of cool, buildings up into those mountains. Over here, I think, does this get us that entire clearing pretty much? Right, pretty much where those trees are. Where those trees clear, right? We could do a little train station over there. Something industrial. Then again, any industrial that we put in is going to pollute the water, which is going to wash down to our city and pollute everything. We got to do some terrain shift over here. Where are we at? 300. 300 to go, and then we're going to move a bunch of people out. They're complaining about water because I don't think they have any over here. It's just not even piped to them. So let's shut them up for a minute. And capacity-wise, we're actually starting to hurt, but that is okay. Mars radio on in the background. It's live. There's no edits. Do we not have water up here? Is it that we don't have enough availability? Ugh. Okay, let's drop in one pump for now, because we're not going to need it in a minute. Literally in a minute. Literally in 30 seconds. I don't even know why I did that. They would have complained and we could have moved them out. There we go. Okay. This is what I call cheating the system, right? We don't need 60,000 people to get the advantages of some of the last tile, the monuments. If we want to do drop in the big airports that are pre-built, we could of course do the airports DLC that I haven't explored on this channel. So I think that's a good use that we will probably make for this over here. Let's pause it. Let's absolutely tank our budget and remove these really sloppy roads and all this stuff, and sort of look at things from perspective of what we could drop in here. We've got 10 million in the bank, so we're going to break out the big bulldozer tool on default. We're going to do it on purpose this time. Oh, it just doesn't even know. I deleted those rocks. I did not mean to delete those rocks. That sound. Okay. So we've got plenty of stuff that we have to go in and manually clear out. The schools, the fire stations, child and elder care. I don't even know what that last one was I just deleted. Whatever. Crematories over here, another school. We'll get rid of this garbage service. And those buildings. And these roads. Okay. That pollution will clear out. We'll leave that ruin. Building's not empty, so this we have to do the old-fashioned way. And by old-fashioned, I mean the DLC way. Make sure you empty that before you disconnect roads if you don't have the Natural Disasters DLC. Okay, so that's cleared out. Let's go back into the bulldozer and clear out these roads underneath. Does that only do tunnels? It's not going to do any of my paths up top, right? Okay. And we don't really need this now, so we can also come in here and delete all those roads as well. So that side is disconnected. Okay, and we'll look at that in a moment. How we need to connect power back over here, because we do. So, do we do the same thing over here? I think we do. So, back into our bulldozer tool. We want to be very careful with... Very careful with the highway over here. There we go. And then back into there it is, manual bulldozer. Is that a historical building? Building's not empty, again, okay. And for the time being, I think we can delete this and figure this out later. And then where? Natural disasters. We've been here twice already this episode. Third time's a charm. Play. Bulldoze. Okay. So, they where do these cars think they're going? Were they already on the exit? Already? Yeah, they must have already been on the exit. That's fine. This is not helping anybody. And do we have people complaining about power and water? We sure do. So where is our power? And how does it get over there? How are we connected over here? Was this going across the way? Okay, well, the nuclear power plant for now is our main source of power, so we've got to get that back to mainland. Does that work? That'll get all of them connected, and then what do we have kind of outside of there that has to get connected? Where is there a place? Can we go like... Can we go... Well, that'll count, right? That'll connect it. So that should make everybody stop complaining about power. Water is powered at that point. This doesn't need to be over here, but again, we can clean that up. What's the problem here? Power line? So we have... we've absolutely tanked our budget, as you may have noticed down there. What are we paying for that we don't need? I bet we're way above. We're way above on electricity and water now, that's for sure, right? So if we go back up here, we're producing a lot of electricity we don't need. So let's come into budget and crank that down first. Let's try 70%. Let's see where that gets us. Woo! Let's do 75 so that we don't immediately have to come back in here. Water, we should be producing a ton more than we need on both. So what happens if we delete 2? Does that delete the pipes too? Can we delete those? Can we delete 3? Deleting 3 is fine. What about over here? We must be able to get rid of at least one of these. These handle a little bit more capacity. Can we afford 2? It's a little tighter, but it works. And it saves us a little bit of money. That's the important part. We're trying to save some money in the meantime. Garbage capacity. What is that looking like? Processing status is way above what we need. Production 72,000 per week, processing almost twice as much, more than twice as much. Quick bit of napkin math. So does shutting this off save us money? It does, right? Because it costs $240 a week. But if it's off, now it costs 0 per week. So all those trucks that were out have no idea what to do with their garbage. They might just despawn. But we're saving some cash now. Razor thin margins. But now we can talk about fine-tuning and finessing and finalizing some stuff. I really like the structure of this build. There's too much dead space in the middle, though. I need a different intersection here. I need a different, some kind of service interchange. We got to look at some of the traffic where it's really heavy and find some slick ways. So I need to meet between these two. Like, this is too bulky and stupid. And this is just way too basic and simple. But it does the job, I guess, right? And then we can look at, again, district names. If you've got ideas, like let's look at not where the districts are necessarily today. How do we, if we go into info views, we can actually see it this way. I haven't defined every place as a district because you can do pedestrian areas or districts to define the wall to wall. And that's actually what I did here, is a mixture of both. So I need to standardize. I need to separate it better. Districts allow us to do Old Town though, which keeps traffic out of the zone that isn't intended. It can't cut through. Whoops. But the way that this is laid out, it doesn't really necessarily need the Old Town that much, right? Because I'm not coming into this residential area. There's nothing to drive to on the other side. Same thing over here, right? Residential is off on its own. Metro? Have I revisited Metro yet? I've meant to. Oh yeah, I have. So we've got a couple things going on, moving people around. There's a couple little hub stations where a couple lines meet here. Can we do Metro lines? Is that a less invasive tool? Yeah. Middle Park, this is one of the new service stations. What is it called? Large underground metro station, and then the parallel underground metro stations. That's a little smaller, but their tracks are right next to one another, and they are super finicky, on console at least. So I have enjoyed much more the large underground metro station, but you got to be very careful when you're defining your lines, make sure you're clicking on, you know, the correct side that you mean to. So get a quick glimpse there, right? Where are people going to and from? You know, this bottom part is all residential. So we've got a couple stops plus one at university, kind of picking them up. And then they've got ways to, you know, I can fork this way to come up here, to get on the red line, to go to the stadium, to get to the commercial park, to get to the office park. They'll go around wherever, right? I mean, we're moving 1,200 people in a small town, right? These numbers might drop down. They might still be average based on our previous population. But we have 4 lines and they're all doing some work, right? 8 stops, 500 passengers, 8 stops, 300, 4 stops, 2, 3 stops, 2. And you can click into these and see if you have any really backed up stations or cars. If you have all the DLC, you also have the option of changing what it is. The default metro, an airport express metro, high capacity. I've switched to high capacity just so we can pick up to 500 people at a time. I think it's the Vehicles of the World from B. Squigglehausen. If you haven't seen that creator pack, definitely check that out. All kinds of new police and service vehicles and metro too. I'm 99% sure that's where these are from. Correct me if I'm wrong, chat. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, please. That is. So that is that line. Nothing's too backed up. You know, we've got a lot of people at what station is this? Oh, the stadium, of course. Nice convergence of shopping and things to do over here. Maybe you work here, maybe you're shopping, maybe you're going to a game, maybe you're from out of town. Then again, we don't have great ways to hook you up yet if you are out of town. We don't have enough people working here, which is why all these businesses are failing. So we might have to balance our population a little bit more. Steal some more of this back from Metro, at least on this island, to make it self-sufficient. This one as well, nobody too backed up, and we're using the regular train here, the 150, and same thing here, the 150. That one's actually got kind of a heavy stop. So there are a lot of people waiting here, but the train's empty. They get on it, and they go to one of the other 2 stops. So it's not the end of the world. They're not backing up to the point where, you know, there's like 10 people, 20 people there when the train leaves. And by the time the next train comes through, it looks like we're going to be pretty good. So we may have just caught it at an odd time. Let's see where they get off. So 60 people got off there. And then we're going to continue back on through to the other stop, which is where you would assume most of those people would offload. They're not riding the loop to come back around, right? Yeah, and now we're down to 13. So we're doing good here. We do pile them up at this station at the university. But that is okay. So right, that was all 4 transport lines. That's all we have right now. We will look at if we build something off island doing that. We've also got to get ferry coverage back, which is how we were getting people here. What was this? What is this technically? It's the ferry pier. Burned down. The building needs to be searched for survivors by a disaster response unit before it can be rebuilt. So do we do the disaster response unit? Do we do that? I don't even know where to do that. So this wasn't going to be the longest episode. This was going to be a catch-up episode and one inviting your feedback. So a couple things. Let's talk zones first, right? I already kind of hinted at that, but you let me know what you think in the comments. So here are the zones again. This one's useless. Don't vote for it. Let's call this the northeast corner over here. And again, we may not mess with that highway too much, but there's a little plateau over there. There's water, there's highway access, there's train access. And we want to be careful where we build. We got 2 tiles and we don't want to go too crazy with, like, you know, these hard edge lines on the map. We want to blend things. We've got to build some stuff over here. It's good highway access. We can definitely do something here with the train station, so don't feel like that's the only way we can hook into the train station. We can definitely do it there. We've got this side over here to do the same thing, but this one does have train and highway and a reasonable amount of space between exits. So I think it would make sense to do some other section of the build right here. More, I don't know. Do we do something industrial? Do we actually have industrial on the map somewhere, or one of the specialized zones? Maybe. I think we do airport over here. I'm okay having a small city. That's fine. I guess we don't need a large airport for 25,000 people though, so that's something to consider. You know, do we have another pocket of residential? So again, this is, let's call this northeast. If you want to see the northeast tile get built on. It would be a shame though, because it's like you kind of want to build in the bottom left corner of this top one, right? Because there's a clearing there. You kind of want to fill that in. So do keep in mind we got 2 tiles to spend. This one is kind of cool, right? We could build up into there, into the mountains a little bit. I think down here that's good too. So northeast corner, southeast 1, southeast 2. And then just straight down here, right? Do we do, you know, do we get this piece here so we can build basically on that flat area right there? That's not a bad spot to build either. But then again, remember, we wouldn't be building over there. We could build here. So there's plenty of stuff we can do, even in the space that we have already. We've got a large pocket here. Airport for 25,000? I don't know. At least a little airport. One of the pre-built. It's a city of the future. It's supposed to be green and walkable, and do keep that in mind, right? So we want it to kind of blend. We need to balance it. We know that. And we need to look at some of these highways and potentially connect this underneath. I think would be really cool. Just enough room for a road under here. It's a little off center. But we've got to be kind of careful how we connect it. We can't tunnel, unfortunately, under this, so we'll look at some different stuff. But let me know your thoughts, right? If you've got ideas for district names, if there's little micro builds you'd like to see. You know, what do we do? What do we do with all this? So areas, right? We could do a park, and that could be a lot of things. A city park, an amusement park, a zoo, or a nature reserve. Nature reserve might be kind of cool on one of these. Like, that's the only thing I could think of using that tile for. We've got industry areas, and I don't want to pollute if possible, so maybe a forest or a farming. Definitely not ore or oil. We could get into some warehouses and production, though. We don't have to pull this stuff out of the ground here. We can still process and make other goods. Of course, we could do a college. And I think, you know, do we cram that in the space that we have? Find some spots? Do we make this island bigger? I don't know. Lots of stuff we could do, but I think we kind of keep this island as it is. Make it futuristic and funky and walkable, and continue to upgrade this. But we got to have some other stuff supporting it, especially if we want to grow beyond where we're at 25,000 and razor thin margins. So We could definitely get a little airport, bring some tourists in. If you haven't seen this, still one of my favorite parts of the build, and it looks really good at night, but she got ups. So we had a ferry line here. Did I build it? I built this on a stream. And there is like a little Stonehenge type thing up here, and I was about to bulldoze it and got the idea to try and put a path through it first, because what's the worst case? The path will bulldoze it, but the path did not bulldoze it. It just fit up the middle, so you have this kind of really cool walk up to the casino center. And I really like that. I really like that approach. I think it's kind of cool. Looks man-made, but no, we built over ruins to move a casino in, and that's even better. I love it even that much more for it. So we'll get that hooked in. We'll look at getting some tourists in here. We'll hook them up to Metro so they can come see a game, which I would have replaced this picture ages ago because it's just non-stop, bases loaded singles. Just run after run after run until the mercy rule lets everybody out of here and they pour out. So again, what areas, what projects, what names do you have for things? Literary and movie and song references, always preferred. Do we do an airport? I don't know. I think this seems like overkill for such a small futuristic city. I think we just drop in one of the pre-builts and maybe do that on another build. And then of course we could focus a little bit more on some of our pedestrian areas. Like we haven't made a pedestrian area up here. So this is all car traffic up here actually, huh? Okay, I'll stop whipping the camera around. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Sorry it's been so long since there's been an update. Check back soon. A live stream of some sort will probably happen at some point. But yeah, Greenwood. We've hit the top tier now. So actually, one more thing we can do is build a street off to the side, drop in all the uniques that we need to unlock the monuments that we want. And maybe we build some of those in too, because we have not looked at parks, plazas, uniques, entertainment, that sort of stuff. Oh, those two streets meeting do not jive. I gotta change that. I gotta change a lot. Let me know what bothers you most, and we'll get on to fixing that first. Hope you enjoyed. Kind of an odd one. Until the next one, like, subscribe, check back for more, and we'll see ya. Move the mouse, signing off.